Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Play the Well of Enchantments. Now, like my run in Prime recently, this isn't going to be a series. I don't intend to make a Let's Play series out of the Well of Enchantments. It's just a kind of one-off. I'm probably going to play it for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, as I did with Prime. It's just a game that I kind of feel like I might have fun Let's Playing for a bit, but as a sort of one-off long play episode. So, this is the Well of Enchantments. It's a roguelike, as you might guess, from, I think, IBOL. Or was it IBOL? IBOL. Probably didn't want to pronounce his name like that, given current events at the moment. But IBOL, anyway, I think is the same guy who made this. In which case, he's currently working on Approaching Infinity, which was a 7DRL, which then got kickstarted to sort of turn it into a full game. Anyway, this is one of his earlier games, I believe, The Well of Enchantments. So let's jump in, shall we, with new game. Enter your name. And I'm going to call us Stan, because I've been watching Lex recently. So here's the premise. And apologies if I'm slightly snuffly. Got a cold. It happens. Okay. While questing for treasure in a cavern near your home, a minor earthquake reveals a pulsating magic portal. Upon approaching, you're drawn in and transported to a strange new dimension. Hungry and poorly equipped, your only hope is to find another portal that will lead you home. If you happen to become rich and powerful along the way, then so be it. So that's the basic premise in the Well of Enchantments. But, as with many roguelikes, it doesn't really have all that much consequence. It's basically just a flimsy pretext for the stuff that's coming. At least as far as I've got. So why, as we head in here, why am I playing the Well of Enchantments in particular, considering it's basically completely unknown, and you will probably get the same impression I did as we go along here, which is that it's kind of rough around the edges. Well, we're going to see some things as we start going. Let's have a look at the UI first, or the HUD, if you prefer. HP, 100 of 100, self-explanatory, level 0. To be honest, I'm not sure whether that's character level or dungeon level. I've never looked that closely. I suspect it's character level. XP, experience points, of course. Strength is 10, armor is 9. Nutrition is 26%, so we're pretty hungry, as the intro said. Weight carried 44 out of our 200 limit, and our walking speed is fast. Not tremendously significant. I mean, it's all important stuff, but not that exciting. But then we get to equipment. We've got leather gloves on our hands, a weapon, and below that, you'll see the stuff that's actually in our inventory. So we also have an iron pick, which is currently not equipped. And you'll notice all of those have letters after them, if you look in the inventory section. Iron dagger has a W, leather gloves have W and P, iron pick has a W and P. When I first started playing this, I'll stop moving around a bit. Go and grab this sword for a start. You pick things up automatically when you step over them. And you'll see that iron sword has W and P after it. So we'll probably want to switch to the iron sword in a minute. It's probably better than our dagger. But the significance of the W and P, initially, when I first started playing, I thought, weapon. No, wait. Some things that are weapons just have a W. Wait, what is all of this? And it took me a while to work out, because the game doesn't explain any of this stuff. Let's dodge away from these enemies here. And then try to take them on one at a time. Like this. Just walk into them. Yeah. So we will actually wield the sword in a minute. And let me show you this. I'm going to press W, which is the wield command. Select inventory item to wield. So we're going to go with D for the iron sword. And you'll notice that's appeared in our weapon slot in the sort of top rightish quadrant. Iron sword 15 to 60. Now, we could also press P. Select inventory item to put on, which is what you do with items of clothing. But you can also do it with some odd things like an iron pick. If you look at the message log, you strap the pick across your back. And you'll notice in the equipped items section, it's body, iron pick. And that's what the W and the WP things mean. The items in the inventory in Well of Enchantments actually tell you what commands you can use with them. Which initially just seems like a handy shorthand. but it also has other effects, as we will see before long, I'm sure. So I'm just letting these funnel in here. You can often walk through trees in this. In a lot of games, those trees would be basically another form of wall. But in Well of Enchantments, you can often walk through trees. And indeed other things that seem like you wouldn't be able to walk through them. Let's take this thing on. What's that? Blind Daver. Not sure how I feel about that. It seems fairly tough. Let's just keep hitting it. Hope for the best. No, we're losing a lot of health here. You'll notice we picked up an Azure Potion. So, actually, this is going to be a good illustration of what I was talking about. Look at the commands next to Azure Potion. W, C, R, and P. So, that means you can wield it. Now, that's true of most, if not all, items in the game. You can wield most things as a weapon with varying degrees of effectiveness. C is consume, so you use that for food and potions. Nothing too startling there. P, as we've discovered, is put on, so that's the sort of wear command. We can actually wear the potion in some way around our body. R is the one that interests me, because R is read, which means, despite it being a potion, presumably in a bottle, we can actually read it. And you get this kind of odd thing in the game, where you can use some items in ways that you wouldn't expect. So I've had swords that you can read, I've had sandwiches that you can put on, I've had boots that you can zap like a wand. And the only way, it's not uniform, it's not like you can read all potions, it's kind of random. And the only way that you know where these bonus effects and bonus uses come in is by paying attention to those abbreviations at the end of the inventory items. So let's try reading our potion to see what happens. Read. E. Well, kind of got us killed, so that's the thing. If you look in the message log in the bottom left, when we read our potion, the location of all traps was revealed. So that's what effect that had. But drinking the potion probably would have been something completely different. So let's hit space to try again. New game. And this time we're going to be Bob. Why not? Bob's a good name for an adventurer. Okay. And one of the other things that I noticed about this game is not only do you get different layouts, you get different backgrounds. I mean, it doesn't have a huge consequence as far as I've noticed. But it does at least freshen things up a bit, unlike in something like Prime, where you get the same aesthetic style on the early levels every time. I'm going to have a swig of my coffee here. Nescafe Azera, for anyone who's interested. Supposedly barista-style coffee. It's not bad. Powdered coffee, much better than granules. The UK isn't really a coffee-drinking country, so don't be too offended by my coffee heathenism. Okay, we've got a dagger, armour, iron pick. You always start off with an iron pick, and you can actually use it to bash through walls if you equip it like a weapon. So we've got a kind of eye-shaped creature to the southeast here. So let's toddle over. You rest. I'm waiting for it to approach me, but it isn't for some reason. Oh, it's actually an item. I thought it was a beastie. So you'll see Garnet Ring picked up, and we can wield it like a weapon. We can put it on, but we can also zap it like a wand. So, let's wear it, but using the put on command. Doesn't seem to have any magical effect. Items, as far as I'm aware, in this game, identify when you use them. So I think that would have told us if it was anything special. So we're probably better off using the zap power on that. We'll do that when we come across an enemy. In the meantime, I'm going to wield our iron pick like this. You're now wielding iron pick. And I'm going to mine these gems out of the wall. You try to dig through the sandy wall. There we go. Took a few turns, but you'll notice it says you found some valuable gems. I don't really know what effect, if anything, that has. I assume it increases your gold count. You can see we've got gold 99 at the moment. I better switch back to wielding our weapon. Unless, I mean, our iron pick is 12 to 48 damage. Let's see what the dagger does. 5 to 20. So actually, the iron pick is a better weapon as well. Although, I guess, I don't know if weapons break in this. They might, so we might not want to use it as a weapon. But there's another pick here, so let's try that out. Steel pick. So that's going to be a better pick. We'll continue using the iron one as a weapon for now. And this is the exit from the floor, kind of exciting looking teleporter kind of thing. So we'll roam around a bit in case we find some good items. There's a dagger just there, I don't want to deal with that. Kind of make a mental note of where the exit from the floor is. There is a mini-map in the top left, but you can see it's absolutely microscopic, so I'm not entirely convinced. So I picked up a steel dagger there. I don't really want it necessarily, but I'll hang on to it for now. I don't know if there's an inventory limit. I guess there is, because there's a weight limit of 200. Anyway, so we picked up some leather gloves, which we're not wearing yet. They don't have a zap power or anything, just wear and put on. So let's put those on. There you go. Apparently, our iron pick broke on impact. So we did actually break. I didn't notice that, but we did actually break our iron pick in combat. Which I guess is probably why you would want to focus on using weapons rather than tools in combat, even though the tools have better stats at the time. So let's wield our steel dagger. Again, it doesn't have any exciting zap effects or anything. These things here, these symbols on the floor, as far as I know, are harmful. Every time I've tried walking on one, it's done damage to me or poisoned me or similar. So I tend to just avoid them these days. I don't know if they sometimes have beneficial effects. So I'll grab this. And now that I've explained the ins and outs of the game's own... Ooh, Cursed Ring of Soft Armour. Now we'll want to drop that straight away. We're not wearing it, but as far as I've observed, just carrying a cursed item has its effect on you. So I want to drop that straight away. But yeah, now I've explained the sort of odd ins and outs of this game's peculiarities, we can get on with it, and it should be a fairly fast-paced game, because, frankly, there isn't that much depth involved, at least as far as I've got. Which is fine, absolutely fine. If every game was really deep and intense, then it would just be exhausting playing games for recreation. Oh, lots of enemies. Let's back into this doorway and try to beat them one at a time. He dodged past us, the cheeky little bugger. So, killed a straw golem, which is fine. I'm waiting on the spot, but those things aren't coming through. There are other doors into that room, so let's try circling. Oh, here we go. I guess maybe fighting them 3 at a time in the doorway like this might be the correct way to fight those things. So let's wield our steel pick for now, so we can mine these gems out of the wall. And another pick. We're carrying a lot of picks at the moment. Oh, oh, oh! Here's a good example, actually. Look in our inventory right now, down to item E, steel pick. Look at the commands. Wield, fine, put on, fine, but the middle one, C, consume. You can eat the steel pick. You can't eat the other steel pick, but that specific one you can. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, though. Generally, if you eat inanimate objects, like picks and things in this, it isn't good for your health. So, again, our boots we've just picked up, WCP, wear, consume, put on. I'm going to put them on, rather than eating them. Stuffing boots into my face. No, did I not put them on? Maybe I pressed the wrong key. So let's put on H. You put the boots on your feet. Wow, okay, fine. Our nutrition's down to 8%, so we really need to find some food pretty sharpish. Picked up another dagger without meaning to. You know what? I'm going to zap our garnet ring here. So let's hit Z for zap. D. Bob was killed by a moss crab. I'm not sure what happened there, actually. The messages scrolled through far too quickly, but clearly it wasn't anything very useful. So let's be Albert. I don't know why. That was just the first name that came to mind. So you can see Well of Enchantments is one of those games that can be over very quickly, which kind of fits with it being a light and, for want of a better word, disposable roguelike. You'll notice Steel Sword, item E, wield and put on as usual, but also read and zap, so this is a hell of a sword. The thing with reading, though, is like a scroll, you use it up, and we probably don't want to do that with our Steel Sword. So, for now, I'm going to just wield it. And I'm going to try and put on our diamond ring. Diamond Ring of Resist Acid. So although we can't zap it with anything, it does have a useful passive effect. I'm going to try zapping our sword at this enemy here. So let's zap, item E. Use mouse to target your zap. It's annoying that you have to use the mouse for this, but so be it. You probably can't see my pointer. I'm pointing at this enemy here. Dispel only works on glyphs. Okay, so it's a dispel spell, I guess. Picked up a Warhammer. Cursed Steel Warhammer of Alarm! I suspect that probably alerts enemies to our location, so let's drop that immediately. Get away from it. I'm alarmed by carrying it. Okay, shield could be good, so we'll just hack apart these enemies, which I think multiply amoeba-like. Iron Shield, wield, consume, read, put on. So we'll put it on for now, but we might actually want to think about reading it at some point. Again, that would actually use up the shield, which is kind of an issue, because we'd then be shieldless. But if we find ourselves in a weird situation, we might want to try reading it. Cursed Iron Shield of Fear, drop it. Of course, the odd thing... Oh, Cursed Diamond Amulet of Infirmity, drop. The odd thing about the way these pieces of equipment have features like read, which you wouldn't normally expect them to have, is that unlike scrolls in a more conventional roguelike, we'll try on the leather boots here, because the effects aren't consistent from item to item, so it's not like all boots will have a zap effect just because one pair does. Because that's not consistent even within one run, you kind of can't play the identification game that you usually do in roguelikes. Like, you go, okay, I'll read my shield, that'll use it up, but the next time I find an iron shield, I'll know what it does. No, not at all. That's not remotely the case. You read your shield, you have no idea. You'll just have a random effect, and that's that. Continue swigging my coffee, which actually I've kind of let go cold, but never mind. I'll grab this sword in case we need it. Iron Sword isn't hugely inspirational, but it'll do. Chain Helm, put that on, and proceed. And if you notice, in addition to our Diamond Ring of Resist Acid, we're also now wearing Chain Helm of Resist Stun. So we have a couple of resists up, which is nice. I do feel... food. Gonna need that, because we're down to 15% nutrition. I will start mining this stuff. So switch to mine pick and mine some gems. Bloody Wall seemed to be quite tough. There we go. Just mine those, and then I'll switch back to my steel sword as before. And we should try out the zap effect at some point. So let's do that now. Zap. Item E. And then target our zap like this. Dispel only works on glyphs. Oh, your steel pick lost some of its edge. So the mining we were doing before actually wore away our pick a bit. So we want to be careful with mining unnecessarily. Of course, mining for gems is fine, but one of the things you can also use the mining option for is to maneuver around rooms of difficult enemies. We just picked up a diamond ring. Again, it has a zap effect on it, so I'm going to try putting on the diamond ring. I think you can only wear one ring. Yeah, looks like it. The diamond ring seems to be just a normal diamond ring, so I'm going to put our previous Ring of Resist Acid back on, and then we'll try out the zap effect of the new diamond ring when we get a chance. What's that? Leather gloves. Okay. Chain gloves. Ooh. Okay. Let's try putting those on. Again, we can read the gloves, but we're not going to do that just yet. Chain gloves of haste. Excellent. So now I'm going to start clearing out my inventory a bit. So, for instance, I'm going to drop the bog standard leather gloves that we started off with. And I'm also going to drop the iron dagger. Like that. They drop nearby, not on your own space. Okay. Because I don't want to reach my weight limit. I hate being burdened in games. Let's pick up this Warhammer. Steel Warhammer. Nothing particularly special about it as far as we can see, but we might need it at some point. For now, though, we're just going to continue with our sword, kind of letting ourselves get surrounded here, but not too badly. These enemies are weak. Let's try out the zap effect from our second diamond ring. Zap with K. Use mouse to target. And what happened there? Okay, the message log says moss crab. Oh no, that message has actually scrolled off now. Move mouse over lit map areas to identify images. Not entirely sure what that is. It seems like it might be some kind of identify monster or something. Okay, well, we've taken quite a lot of damage there, but health does regenerate fairly quickly, so I'm not too worried. I don't know how far the game goes, incidentally. It really doesn't... Oh, crap, look at all that lot. It really doesn't explain anything very much about itself. Ooh, armour. Chain armour, item B. So, and that has a zap and a read on it as well. So let's put the chain armour on. Chain armour of protection. So actually we have a fair selection of good item effects here. Let's check out this Warhammer in case it has something nice on it. Iron Warhammer. You can read it. Look at that. Wield or read, item M. So we're going to read it since we already have a better Warhammer than that one. Read it and watch it disappear. Okay. Your chain helmet of resist stun provides more protection. So reading that Warhammer improved our armour. Or our helmet, anyway. Excuse me. So you can see that reading items of equipment actually serves more... I was killed by starvation. Oh, I actually had some bread as well. I wasn't watching the hunger. I was distracted by talking. Alright, let's have another go. This time we're going to be Pob, which was something that appeared in some kind of kids' computer program back when I was at school. And also it's the Welsh word for all, for whatever that's worth. Okay, so we've picked up Azure Potion, grilled cheese sandwich, which, as you can see, you can wield or put on as well as consume, and some leather armour. So, I'm going to immediately put on the leather armour. It's just bog standard leather armour. And I'm going to consume the potion. You feel much faster. Excellent. Now, our nutrition is 31%, so I'm going to immediately eat the grilled cheese sandwich. Oh, wrong key. It's not E to eat, it's C to consume. There we go. Oh, yum grilled cheesy, the room is spinning. I guess that maybe means there was a negative effect to that particular... Yeah, it's confused me. I'm not going in the directions I'm pressing. So I guess that means the grilled cheese sandwich had other effects on it, as well as just being food. We just picked up a birch wand, which we can wield, consume, or zap. Gonna zap it. I know that's a bit conventional, but it seems like the most useful thing to do with it. So, we'll zap, use our mouse to target this thing. Okay, and you'll see it says Straw Golem is a weak enchanted creature. Oh, I see. Move mouse over lit map areas to identify images. So we can just identify things here now by mousing over them. Blood palm, door, stone wall. So there's that. And that's effect. Oh, it's continued, actually. It hasn't ended. Does that normally happen? Maybe that always happens. I don't know. Aha! Okay. Yeah, maybe that's something that's always there and I just never noticed. The top message there is the Straw Golem is stunned, so I guess that's probably what the wand did. Some kind of wand of stunning. Stunning wand. Oh yeah, actually it says now in the inventory, wand of slow monster. So that's what that did. So just kill these beasties. There's some more armour over there, so let's make a grab for it. More leather armour, which we can also read. So you know what? Let's read it. Okay. You can almost smell the treasure. I assume that's maybe detect treasure, something like that. So let's grab this money. There's a shield. Haven't got one of those yet. Our iron shield seems like it's probably nothing special. It just has W and P commands, so we'll just put it on. Yeah, bog standard iron shield. Nothing too exciting. What's in here? Nothing much. Helmet. Haven't had one of those yet, so we'll put that on. Okay, and another helmet. That one's leather. So not as good, but it does have a zap command on it, so we can try zapping stuff with that. And these things really do work like the items they're mimicking. So if you read a piece of equipment, it'll disappear after one use. If you zap a piece of equipment, you'll get a limited number of charges before it vanishes. So let's zap our leather helm at these things. Leather helm crumbles to dust. Dispel only works on glyphs. We've been finding a lot of dispel magic today. That's new. I don't usually find dispel magic. Not very often, anyway. We're taking a lot of damage here, so let's back off. Retreat. Wow, they're very quickly multiplying. We need to run away. They're just chasing us all over the level here. This could be an issue. Of course, our health is regenerating as we're dodging away, so there's that. But we do need to find the exit pretty sharpish. Oh, crap. We've got something after us on the other side now. Oh, those things can't go through doors, perhaps. That might be a thing. Taking a lot of damage from this blind Daver. So, let's use the Wand of Slow Monster. Zap D. And then slow this thing. It's stunned. Now, back off. Rest for... It appears to have vanished. Okay, I guess maybe it went out of the door or something. Okay. Now, I mentioned before that you might wonder why I'm playing this game in particular, when it's kind of a rough around the edges, obscure... But I'm dizzy, that's causing a problem. Obscure little game. Oh, crap. And the fact of the matter is, firstly, I find it quite fun. Let's be Leroy. I find it quite fun, if a little unpolished. But at the same time, it's partly that it has these odd mechanics to it, which you don't see very often. So I thought it might be an interesting little experiment for people, or a little foray into the kind of things that you don't usually see much of. I'm dizzy again. Do these things make me dizzy? That's just annoying. I like this grassy and watery sort of starting area that we've got this time. Let's drop our Cursed Garnet Ring of Fear. Don't need that. And again, it doesn't really have that identification game going on here. Cursed PB&J Sandwich of Slow Healing. I don't know what the cursed effect will do to us, but let's try it and find out. Okay, it made us dizzy. So there's that. Sandwich made us dizzy. That's what happens if you curse a sandwich, everyone. Hey, recover from the dizziness already. I'm just resting. There we go. Alright, there's our teleporter to the next floor. But I do want to roam around a little bit more, see if we can find some equipment like that. Birch Wand, which we can read and zap. Again, you get multiple uses out of zapping things, so I'll do that. Chain gloves, which you can just wield or put on, so I'll put them on. And they're chain gloves of resist blindness, which is nice. I would like something that resists that dizziness effect we keep coming across. Because that's been... There we are again, we're dizzy again. It must be these fungols that keep making us dizzy. Very irritating. So yeah, I'd like to get a resist dizziness effect. Steel Warhammer, which we can wield or read. And since we're still using our basic Iron Dagger at the moment, I'm going to wield the Warhammer. Much more effective. These boots. And we can zap the boots, but for now we're just going to put them on. Put the boots on your feet. Most of our stuff is normal, not enchanted. Cursed Chain Armour of Hunger. Definitely don't want that. Cast it aside. Look at our nutrition as well, 47%. I'm a bit of a sucker for not looking at our nutrition level often enough. We're getting surrounded here. Let's zap some leather boots at these things. Flames does 21 damage to the moss crab, apparently. So we just cast a flame spell from our feet. I was very tempted to make... Oh, crap on a stick. I was very tempted to make a stupid pun about being hot-footed. Or let's hot-foot it out of here, but I thought better of it. So we've got a new pick. 2 new picks, in fact. They're all iron picks. One we can read, one we can zap. You know what, let's just read the one pick. Seems not to have done anything very significant. We'll get that potion. Azure potion. Didn't look azure, looked red. Let's consume it. You feel stronger. Yeah. Garnet ring. Let's try it on. Garnet ring of protection. So we are going to leave that on. But I noticed, this is an oddity about the game. If you look at the way the Garnet Ring of Protection is actually named in our inventory now, it no longer lists the commands after its name. So I think, from memory, we were also able to zap it. But this is, I don't know if this is an intentional design feature, but you have to kind of pay attention to what commands you can use before you equip an item. It's kind of strange like that. As long as they're generic, like an iron dagger or leather armour, then it will continue to list them. But when it has a special effect, if it's enchanted, then it often actually stops listing the ways you can use it. So, I'm not sure why the game's called Well of Enchantments either. We don't seem to be in a well at all. I should wield that steel sword that we just picked up, really. So, let's wield F. There we go. Hopefully that will give us a bit more fighting power against these fungols. We're losing a lot of health here, and the dizziness effect is very irritating. Stop chasing me around, making me dizzy and then running after me. We need to walk through these trees and find the bread, which is there. PB&J sandwich. We're down to 28% nutrition, which isn't bad, but might as well just eat the sandwich now. Okay. One thing is, you do get reduced visibility when you're walking through trees. So that is some degree of landscape effect from crossing these different backgrounds here. Grilled cheese sandwich. Might as well eat that. You've forgotten something important. So I'm not sure what effect that had, whether we forgot part of the level or something like that. It might be an effect we've learned. You know, when you identify an effect, like when we put on our Garnet Ring of Protection, if you pay attention to the message log, it says you've learnt or you've identified the effect of protection. So I guess it might be the case that when you come across something that has protection later on, that you are able to identify it as such. Not sure about that. That's an educated guess. So maybe we've forgotten our knowledge of something like protection. Diamond ring, might as well try it on. Slow digestion, excellent. Now, we can't wear our Garnet Ring of Protection and our Diamond Ring of Slow Digestion at the same time. Nutrition is 97% at the moment, so we're doing well on food. But we actually don't have any food in our inventory, so I do feel as though maybe using Slow Digestion is going to be the best choice here. Now, one of the extra iron pick we collected at some point has a zap effect. I don't remember trying that out, so I'm going to try it now. Mouse over your target. Okay, piercing light does 45 damage. So, you'll notice the iron pick actually doesn't say in its listing what effect we've just discovered, so we have to remember, iron pick does piercing light, which inflicts a lot of damage. And this, I guess, is how the game balances itself. It has all kinds of bizarre magical effects on lots of items, but it kind of half relies on you remembering what they all are. We just picked up some kind of miracle potion. Wield, consume, zap, read, put on. I wonder what happens if you put on a potion. I don't think I've ever done that. You tie the potion around your neck. I know when I tried to wear a sandwich once, it said you put the sandwich on your head. So we're wearing a potion around our neck. Why the hell not? I wonder if that affects our armour rating, actually. Affects, rather, not effects. So, I guess can we take it off? Do we use T? Do we use P again? Don't know. I think there's a way of taking things off. So, let's try P and put on H, the Azure potion. No, that just puts it on again. I think there is a way of taking things off, but I'm not 100% sure. And the game doesn't really say. It doesn't have the usual question mark help thing. So you have to kind of go through everything. Go, no, that's read. That item is not inscribed. No, it isn't. Space key. Yeah. Slow message. Blah, blah, blah. So you see you have to kind of experiment with just pressing stuff like this. Inventory item to examine. So we can actually examine stuff. I wonder what that does. Azure potion equipped. So it does actually tell you what they do if you examine it. That's interesting. Consume deliciousness. Presumably that means it's a potion of deliciousness, I guess. That's very interesting. I didn't know you could examine in that sort of detail. Do you want to quit? No, I do not, actually. You can always run. Yeah, I don't know. Odd setting changes there. Alright. So, we'll deal with the potion being around our neck. That's fine. Although there is another neck thing there, so let's pick that up. Garnet Amulet. We'll put that on. So that's I. There you go. Armour is 30. So that's actually added to our armour there, I think. Garnet Amulet of Resist Vertigo, which hopefully, if I'm interpreting that correctly, should help us resist that dizzy effect that's been such a frustration to me so far. Okay, we should probably try zapping with our Azure Potion at some point, since it does have that listed as a command. And of course we can reuse the zaps, whereas we can only use consume and read once. We've got some chain armour, which we can also read, but instead we're going to put it on for its basic protection effects. Did that actually lower our armour? We're down to 28 now. Let's try leather armour. Yeah. Leather armour is actually better. So let's examine these two now that we know about the examine command. Examine B, leather armour. Armour 22, apparently. Okay, what about the other one? Examine chain armour. Armour 20. So, yeah, the chain armour is actually worse than our leather armour. Let's read our chain armour then. You feel much stronger, but the blind Dava hit us as well. Let's beat it down, shall we? Let's zap with our Azure Potion first. Zap, H. Mouse over your target. Holy Hammer does 86 damage to the blind Dava. So hopefully that did quite a significant amount of damage to it. Let's finish it off. It's running away. Scared a blind Dava. Oh, it dropped a wand. But we're going to have to retrieve it from this massive tribble-like creatures. Okay, Blood Palm Wand. So it's a wand made from blood palm wood. And as you might expect, it has a zap effect. So let's zap from here before the enemies close on us too much. Mouse over. Blood Palm Wand of Digging. So, we can't tunnel through enemies, which is fine, but this will work as like a pick, but one that can't wear down. Although it can, of course, run out of charges, so there's that. We're taking a lot of damage from this lot, so we probably want to finish them off as quickly as possible, or run away if it gets out of hand. But it didn't get out of hand. Oh, may have spoken too soon. So, these enemies are pretty frustrating, these moss crabs. They seem to spawn like mad. Chain boots, wear, consume, put on. Well, we don't have any boots already, so let's just put them on. And then try and finish off these moss crabs. And then I think maybe we'll take the teleporter to the next floor, because we've been avoiding teleporters a lot for no particular reason. That iron pick just seems standard, really, so I'm going to throw it away. Even though we might want it if we wear down our other pick. Another Azure Potion, and more leather armour, with no particular special effect, so let's throw that armour away. The Azure Potion, again, consume or zap, so I'm going to zap it when I get a chance, but I'm going to examine it and see if we know what the consume effect is. Consume, deliciousness, zap, unknown charge. I don't know if deliciousness is actually the type of potion, or if that's what it says when it doesn't know what the type of potion is. Unclear. So, before we try consuming it, we will first try zapping it, but let's head down to the next floor. Which might be premature, because there's still parts of this floor we haven't explored. But I feel like we've been on this floor a long time, so let's rest a little bit, get some health back. I mean, we're still barely over half health here, to be honest. And then head down. Okay. And we've got this thing, which is Bloodsucker, serpentine cousin of the vampire bat. So it's basically a snake-shaped bat. So, let's zap our second Azure potion, shall we? Zap L, mouse over. Lightning Bolt does 59 damage. So, we have a potion that does that, whatever that light spell was it Piercing Light or something? And one that does a Lightning Bolt. So, they could actually be useful in combat. This thing is Flesh Cube, Enchanted Dead Meat looking to feed. Look at the state of that thing, though. It's red and green. I don't even want to think about what kind of meat would be a person-sized cube of red and green. Because I think I've probably eaten it at some point while drunk. So, I seem to remember from previous runs that these things can be kind of tough. So, I'm actually going to zap lightning at it from our second Azure Potion of Deliciousness. Oh, yeah, they're actually called Azure Potion of Deliciousness now that we've examined them. Or possibly now we've used them, I'm not sure. But yeah, Deliciousness does seem to be the effect, which I would guess means it increases your nutrition. That would be my guess. So let's zap this thing. There we go. Lightning Bolt does 55 damage to the Flesh Cube. Let's finish it off. There we go. Walking speed slow. Apparently, you feel very slow. I fear the Flesh Cube might have slowed us. Yeah, we're back up to average now. What's that thing? Cursed Iron Dagger of Fear. Definitely don't want that. Let's drop that and move on. Bloodsucker wasn't too difficult, but we are losing quite a lot of health. I can't remember whether we had a Dispel spell with anything here. I think maybe we did. Was it the Iron Pick? Maybe the Iron Pick had a Dispel. Not sure. Of course, the steel sword we're using is still readable if we decide we want to do that, but I do feel like it's probably worth more to us in its sword capacity. Cursed Amethyst Amulet of Soft Armour. Again, don't want that. And I'm not certain, but from what I've observed, carrying these items seems to have their effect even if you don't put them on. So let's drop that, get it out of our inventory, and pick up some food. We're still wearing our Ring of Slow Digestion, but we're still down to 64%. I think we burn up our food quite quickly. We seem to teleport there. The curse of teleportation! So, if you look at our inventory in the bottom right, item M, which we just picked up, Cursed Grilled Cheese Sandwich of Deliciousness. And the curse, it seems, is to teleport at random. So let's just eat that sandwich straight away. Ugh, I used E again. Consume. M. So, we gained some nutrition. We're back up to 98%. So we're less hungry. And hopefully that will stop having a random teleport effect on us now that we're no longer carrying it. Except in our stomach in pieces. Picked up Cursed Fine Papyrus Scroll of Burden. So let's drop that. Yes, it's cursed, which obviously has some kind of bad effect. And Scroll of Burden, I don't know if that... I guess that means if you read the scroll it burdens you, so we definitely don't want that. But it might also mean just carrying it burdens you. Either way, I want no part of it. Need to rest for a minute to get some health back. You'll notice health regenerates very quickly, so it's not that big a deal. As long as you're careful-ish. What's this thing? Widow, a large poisonous hunting spider. Don't want to get poisoned, if at all possible. I'm going to try zapping our Iron Pick, because I'm not sure what effect that had. Z, E. Target. Piercing Light. Okay, so actually it's the pick that does Piercing Light. Oh, was the first Azure Potion the digging one? No, that's the wand. Christ. Anyway. What was the first Azure Potion then? Zap. H. Holy Hammer. Okay, so that is also a combat spell. That's good. So we have 3 combat spells now. We have Lightning from our bottom Azure Potion. Holy Hammer from our top Azure Potion, and Piercing Light from our Iron Pick. So actually quite a lot of combat capacity on the magical side. Notice our club sandwich, which can also be zapped. It's a wand made out of a sandwich. For whatever that's worth. We'll dodge around that rune thing, because that's a trap. Again, I can't guarantee there are no beneficial runes that you can step on, but all of the ones I've ever stepped on have been harmful. So that's why I'm being very cautious about them. Potion. Cursed Fine is your potion of easy target. Definitely not what we want. Drop. We'll get this food, of course. Cursed grilled cheese sandwich of weakness. Drop. Don't want that. Actually, you know what? Maybe we can eat it. I don't know if it will actually make us weak if we eat it. I'm not sure if that's how that works. But let's give it a go. Consume. And watch our strength stat, which is currently 12. No, it didn't. However, we're now filled with dread. So I guess maybe it had that effect on us. And we're over hungry, or over full now, if you notice. Oh, it's weakness to poison. Its full name just didn't appear in the inventory. Interesting. Okay. If you notice, our nutrition is now 110%. I actually didn't know it could go over 100, so that's a thing. Cursed Birch Wand of Digging. Again, don't want a cursed item, so let's check that aside. And I'll pick up these boots. Fine leather boots. Going to put them on, but notice that they also have a zap effect. So, also got a scroll. Fine Ancient Scroll of Strength. Might as well just read that now, frankly. There we go. Cursed grilled cheese sandwich of delicious. Oh, let's just leave that. I don't know what happens if we fill up our nutrition too much, whether we actually start suffering ill effects or something. Never tried it. Let's try it now. Eat that cursed sandwich. You're too full to eat or drink anything. So I guess maybe you can go over 100% if you're below 100% when you eat it. That would be my guess. Let's try zapping our fine leather boots at that cube of flesh. So zap. Oh. Ooh. That wasn't good. If you notice, it said, it exploded! And we lost some health, I believe, and we certainly lost the boots. So that was an unfortunate misz-zap, as it were. So, what are we going to do? Do we still have other boots? We still have chain boots. So, let's put on our chain boots again. And then we need to deal with this cube of flesh. We're at half health at the moment, so I don't feel great about just fighting it. So I'm going to try out our new crooked wand on it. Zap. N. Mouse to target. Poison Bolt does 56 damage to the flesh cube. So let's beat it down. There we go. And hopefully we'll just regain some health as we wander around. And more weapons. Don't really want those. And there was the exit to the next floor. If you look at the mini-map in the top left, although it's a bit small to be too useful, you can see there's a great section we haven't explored in the bottom right. So let's go and check that out before we go downstairs. Or teleport away, as the case may be. I don't see how this game is in a well. It doesn't seem very well-like. But then again, I've never been down a well in reality, so maybe they're all like this on the inside. We just picked up another pick. Don't necessarily want that. Might just keep weighing us down. We're also carrying a cursed grilled cheese sandwich still. But we don't know what the effect of that is, actually. So I'm going to cast that aside for now. We're not hungry enough to eat it, and I don't really want to carry its cursed effect around with us. The Deva seems to be refusing to approach us, which is interesting. There we go. Taking a lot of damage from this Deva. So, let's zap our Azure Potion of Deliciousness number 1 at the blind Deva. Which hit it with Holy Hammer for 50 damage. But it doesn't seem to have been enough. I mean, at this point, Holy Hammer doesn't do a lot more damage than we're doing with our sword. Let's zap the Crooked Wand of Poison Bolt. Okay, Crooked Wand of Poison Bolt crumbles to dust, so we no longer have that, unfortunately. But we did do a lot of damage to the blind Deva to the point where it's running away. Let's go after it. Don't want to let it get away. That would be a waste of the resources we've expended on it. Going to ignore that pick because we already have multiple picks in our inventory. And we haven't really been doing a lot of mining anyway. Okay, so I think we've explored pretty much the whole floor. Let's just head over... Ooh, potion. Let's head over towards the exit. And there's some boots there, well disguised against the background. Let's try out those boots. Yeah, they're just normal boots. Normal boots. So we'll switch back to our chain boots, and we'll drop the normal leather boots. Normal boots just made me think of Pro Jared. Comment in the comments below if you know why. So we'll teleport away. And what's this thing? Yeah, it's not levels of a dungeon, it seems. If you notice, it says you're whisked away to another part of the world. So, Devourer, acidic jelly mold that scours the dungeon floor. I'm going to have a swig of my coffee here. Cold instant coffee. So, if that thing's acidic, it could well destroy our equipment. So, my feeling at the moment is we have a club sandwich with a zapping effect. Let's try zapping that at it. Zap. M. Lightning bolt. Here, we're firing lightning from our sandwich. Let's do it again. Yeah! That took out the acidic blob. And we're only down to 108% nutrition. We're doing pretty well. Ooh, fine plate armour. We could read our plate armour, but let's just put it on instead. Fine plate armour of lasting charge. Not sure what effect lasting charge has. I guess it's something to do with consuming wands and things that have the wand effect. You know, zap facility. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Again, the game explains nothing, and as far as I can see, it doesn't have a particular sort of manual or readme file, at least not one that contains anything. So what's this thing? Steely Eye. Fast floating eye that magically multiplies. No. That just made me think, the name Steely Eye just made me think of 70s folk band, still going today, Steel Eye Span, who, oddly enough, I was listening to recently because they've released an album inspired by Terry Pratchett's Discworld. So anyway, let's kill the Steely Eye. What did it say? Floating eye magically multiplies. Okay, so it's a multiplying thing. We need to take it out quickly. If it doesn't teleport away... did we kill it? Yes, kills the lesser Steely Eye. Okay. I guess lesser Steely Eyes are the ones that multiplied, because we just killed the bog standard Steely Eye there. So we're going to have to take out this acidic blob again. Let's zap once more our iron pick, which I think is the thing that does piercing light. Zap E. Mouse. Piercing light does 27 damage, which isn't that much, but it at least did it at range. Seems the acidic blob thing, Devourer or whatever it is, can't get through doors, so that's useful knowledge. Oh, there's another one. Let's try poisoning it with our... Oh no, we used up the poison wand. Alright, let's zap our Azure Potion with the Holy Hammer at it. Holy Hammer does 68 damage to the Devourer. That's pretty good, actually. Didn't take it out, so we better do that again. Zap H. Okay, we took it out, but our Azure Potion of Deliciousness crumbles to dust. We used up all of its charges, and apparently doing so causes potions to crumble rather than, dribble away, as you'd expect from a potion. That's disappointing in the sense that we never got to find out what the potion did, but we probably got better use out of it, using it as a wand. Wand potion, wand sandwich. It's a very odd game. Picked up scale armor. Let's just try the scale armor. See what it does. Where did it insert that in our inventory? Item H. That has a zap effect as well. It's probably not as good as our plate armor. Let's examine for comparison's sake. Plate armor. Okay, weight 38. Unknown inscription. Armor 27. And then let's examine the scale armor. Armor's 26, so almost as good. Consume deliciousness, zap unknown charge. Put on unknown glow. Unknown glow suggests it actually has like a continuous enchantment on it. So let's put the scale armor on. Resist blindness. I think I'd rather go for plate armor of lasting charge, to be honest. Let's watch our armor stat here. It's 42 at the moment. We'll switch back to the plate armor. 43. Yeah, so that's fractionally better. But it's probably worth continuing to carry around the scale armor so we can try out its zap effect. See what that is. Because I do remember it having a zap effect. I guess even if you don't memorise what the series of letters is, you can examine it and it'll tell you can consume zap or put on that item. So, another potion. Another fine azure potion. Again with a zapping effect. I'm tempted to consume it just because we've consumed so few potions. But first, I'm going to see what the zap does. So, zap Q. Notice also that our weight carried is only one short of our limit. So we might need to start throwing some stuff away. Okay. The greatest steely eye flees. Let's examine the azure potion, see if we actually revealed what its zap effect is there. Fear. Okay, so we had a fear effect on the steely eye, which is actually not what I was looking for. Do you remember a game called Fear Effect? That was a thing, right? Back in, I don't know, maybe the PS1 days. Amethyst Ring. And now we're almost at our weight limit, but our weight limit's gone up again. I guess maybe we've gained a level or something. So we could read the ring, or we could zap it, or put it on. I'm going to try putting it on for now. Resist, no, not resist vertigo, just bog standard amethyst ring. So let's switch back to our diamond ring of slow digestion, because that's doing good work for us. We're still over 100% nutrition. And then we'll find out what we can zap with the amethyst ring next time we get a chance. Don't want Cursed Burst Wand of Teleportation, because that will probably teleport us at random, so let's drop S. Another sword. Fine Iron Sword, which you can read. Let's read it now. Get the money first, in case it teleports us. And then read it. Read sword. The entire level is revealed, so it's kind of mapping, basically. Nothing wrong with that. More boots. There's an acid thing coming at us, so let's zap with our new ring. Mouse over. Flames did 33 damage to the Lesser Devourer, but it also crumbled to dust, so we only got one use out of that, which is unfortunate. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we zap with our Fine Azure Potion, since it causes a fear effect, and maybe we can actually drive this thing away from us so we don't have to deal with it. Lesser Devourer flees. Yeah, get away from me. We'll try on the chain boots. Let's examine and see if we know what the consume effect of those is. No, unknown flavour. Oh well, let's put them on. Put the boots on your feet. Seem to be bog standard chain boots. Are our other ones bog standard as well? Yeah, pretty much. Does our armour change though? Let's try switching back again. Yes. So our new boots are actually slightly better than our original chain boots. And we can consume either pair. So let's actually eat our original chain boots. Don't need your shoes anymore. Just stuff them in your face. Consume K. All your wounds are healed. You know, every time I've eaten something like an item of armour or a weapon or a pick, it's always damaged my health. So it's actually nice to see something that healed me here. It's pretty interesting, to be fair. And this, from the little I've played, you know, I've dabbled in this game. From what I've played of it, it seems like this thing with using items, identifying their functions, and using them in bizarre ways, like in ways that are unorthodox for roguelikes and RPGs. That seems to be the crux of this game. And maybe that's what the title Well of Enchantments is getting at. I still don't know about Well, but maybe that's what the of enchantments bit is about. Because all of the items, or many of the items, have bizarre enchantments and bizarre magical effects. Anyway, let's move on. Ooh, eye things. Steely eyes. And there are millions of them. So, what I'm going to do is flick... Can't flee. Crap. Tell you what, I'm going to use Blood Palm Wand of Digging, so I'll zap J, to the northwest here. I have to select it with the wand. The mouse, rather. Now I'm going to try and dodge through there, if we can clear these things out enough. No. No, we cannot. Boris was killed by a steely eye. And I think I'm going to call it a day there. We've got about an hour out of this, which is actually quite a long playing session for a game like this, which has short, fairly disposable runs. So, this has been The Well of Enchantments by, I think, IBOL. I'll add an annotation to the video if I'm incorrect about that, but I'm pretty sure it's by IBOL. Well of Enchantments. Free to download. As always, I will put a link in the video description below for anyone who wants to try it out. I wouldn't say it's an amazing game. You know, it's not... It doesn't seem to be hugely deep or offer that much strategic, sort of interesting features to it. But it is a bit novel. It does play differently to other games, and it's really easy to pick up and play. It's certainly not a bad game. And I do have some fun with it. And you've seen me having some fun with it today. It's unpredictable, kind of unforgiving, but it has a sort of knockabout fun feel to it. So it is worth checking out if what you've seen today seems at all appealing. So, Well of Enchantments. Thanks for watching as always, and rejoin me the next time when we'll do more game stuff. Until then, bye for now.